Question 7. What is XXXII in Roman numerals? Now, we've got a chart here. Reminds you what some of the major Roman numerals are. So remember, the coloured ones are the crucial 7 ones. So we've got I is 1. We've got V is 5. X is 10. L is 50. C is 100. D is 500. M is 1,000. Now, we have got to be careful here because the Romans did have some rules. This is actually looks difficult, but this is not too difficult. We will have a look at one more before we move on. It's similar, but would give a different answer. So, is, well, it's 2,000. So 1,000 and another 1,000 is going to be 2,000. CCC, let's look at those. So C's are hundreds. So it's 100, 100, and another 100. So that's 300. L is going to be 50. XXX, well, that's 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, and 10 is 30. The Romans did have a rule where you couldn't have 4 of the same letter on the trot, but we haven't got 4 of any letter here. We've got the maximum is 3, so that's fine. And then II is 1, 1, so 2 1s makes 2. Now, the Romans also had a rule where if you check these numbers, if ever you've got a smaller number in front of a bigger number, you have to subtract that smaller number in front of a bigger number, from the bigger number. But we haven't got that here. We've got bigger number, then it gets a bit smaller, then a bit smaller again, then a bit smaller again, and then a bit smaller again. And if that's what you've got, it starts with the biggest and just gets progressively smaller. You literally just add them together to get your final answer. So this is a nice straightforward one, actually. So it's going to be 2,300, 50 and 30 is 80, and 2. So final answer, 2,382. However, we might as well see what would happen if we had this instead. So if we had MMMCD XL XXII, that makes it a much more difficult question. So let's have a look at why that would be more difficult. So MM would still be 1,000 and 1,000, so that's still going to be 2,000. C is 100. D is 500. X is 10. L is 50. 2 X's together is 10, 10, so that's 20. And 2 I's together is 2. Now, you might be thinking, well, why is this more difficult then? So what you do now is that, unlike on this one, where the numbers just got progressively smaller, the numbers don't get progressively smaller. It goes 2,000 smaller to 100, but then gets bigger again. So you've got a smaller number in front of a bigger number there, and you've got a smaller number in front of a bigger number right there as well. So if there's ever a small number in front of a bigger number, you have to subtract that smaller number from the bigger number to figure out what it means. So this isn't 100 added to 500, it's 100 subtracted from 500 because the small number comes first. So 100 subtracted from 500, 100 before 500 is 400, and 10 subtracted from 50, or 10 before 50, is 40. So you've got to be really careful with ones like this. So now you can figure out what it means. So it'd be 2,440 plus this 20 is 60. So it's 2,462. So be really careful when you're doing Roman numerals. But the one that we were actually asked for is 2,382. Just remember, if the smaller number comes first, subtract.